Could you count to 10?
Hmm?
Could you count to 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Now tell me your name and where we are right now.
My name's for married, my maiden name and my
Yeah?
I was Nell Trailer Shaw. I married a Shaw.
Oh. What was your daddy's name?
Hmm?
What was your daddy's name?
John Trailer.
So it was Traylor.
L-O-R.
And you had a whole lot of brothers and sisters, didn't
I
you?
had 8 brothers and 4 sisters, and I made 5.
Wow. And when did you come to the mill?
In 29.
Could you tell me about that?
Well, we lived out in the country, and my brother came down here and went to work, and he came out there to see us, and I didn't mean to kick you. And we got tired of farming anyhow. You couldn't make much, but it's during the Depression. And we come on down there and went to work. And during the Depression, my mother and daddy made $15 each a week, and that gave us $30. And me and Belle made $5 a week. It gave us $40, and that's what we lived on. But you know, $40 in it'd buy most anything.
Now, your mom and dad both worked at the mill?
Mm-hmm. They done one of the same job. I mean, not the same job, but well, it was the same job, but different. You know, they had different jobs.
Wow. And so how old were you when you started working?
16.
What was your job?
Spinning. Now, when we first went to work, we was putting down the machinery, help putting in rollers and things like that. Help getting it started to work.
So you helped start up the mill?
Huh?
You helped start up the mill?
Yeah, I had to help start it up and help shut it down, honey. We had to run all that stuff out at the end of it.
How did they find you? How did your family find Gunnersville? Did someone come to the mountains and find you, or you went down there?
My brother went from Gadsden down there. He worked at the mill at Gadsden. That's the quarry.
Uh-huh.
And he went to down there and went. He was working down there, and he came up here. They come and got him, helped put this machinery down, and then we followed him. And then my other brother followed him. But there's me and Belle and me and let me start back. It was Jesse done got married. Me and Belle and Wiley and Jim and Willis was still at home when we moved to Gunnersville.
And which part, you lived on the mill village?
We lived in the mill village,
What was that like? Tell me.
It was nice. They had nice houses on the inside. On the outside too.
Now the part that we're most interested in is when Roosevelt came into office.
Beg your pardon?
When Mr. Roosevelt became president.
Oh, we was everybody happy as happy people in the world, honey, because I tell you, his time was bad when he come in. You just don't know how bad. Little old kids are living in stables and things like that.
Even here in Gunnersville?
I don't know where they live here in Gunnersville, not, but I hear them talking about it. Now, I don't know. I never did see that. That's just hearsay. But it was pitiful times, I tell you that. But you know, we so young, we didn't think much about it, but Mom and Daddy did. But I just thank God that they made as much money as they did. Now, we had to work 12 hours to get that. Well, and then when Roosevelt come in, he cut us down to 8. And started us off at $9.90 a week. That's how much he raised us.
Now, do you remember when he came in, the New Deal?
Yeah.
What do you remember?
About the CC camps. I got to put that in.
But about the mill.
Well, the mill. We just went to work in 29, and we worked. And he, I think we worked a pretty good. I don't know how many years we had a strike. And then when I think Roosevelt come in, I don't know where he come in after the strike or not.
Roosevelt came in 1932.
You know what month it was?
Well, he must have come in November.
Well,
and then he was put in office like in
yeah.
January.
Well, I guess we were
1933.
still working then. We still working then.
But-
And I think we went on strike after he, he's getting these new deals and all things like that. And that's how come us to strike, cause we had a union, and they was gonna get us more money, and we did get more money.
Do you remember when they started organizing the union here at the mill?
Well, they started. No, I can't tell you what year it was, honey.
I could tell you. They must have started organizing around 1933.
They must have.
Do you remember when they started getting up the union?
Yeah, but they come to you and ask you to join or something like that, and Mom and Daddy joined, and of course whatever they done, we followed them, because we know they wasn't going to do nothing wrong. They never had. But go have square dances, we used to do that.
Now, who came up to ask you to join the union? Were they people
Well,
local?
let me see if
people?
I can think of his name. Honey, I know his name, but I can't say it.
Was it J.H. Kellett?
No,
Do you
this was one of the mill hands that come to me and asked me to join it. But I can't remember his name.
Okay. Well, I have a whole list of people here that I think belong to the union with you and couldn't get their jobs back. Well, first
Oh, we all got our jobs back
we did,
finally, yeah.
Finally. Before we start, so you must have been members of the union before there was a strike, right? I mean, there wasn't just a strike. Did you go to meetings?
Yeah.
Where did they have the meetings?
Up at our church, Victory Baptist Church.
They had union meetings at the church? Was the church on the Mill Village or off the Mill Village?
No, it was off the Mill Village. It's a great big old church now. And I played the piano at the church. I taught music when I was a little girl growing up.
Do you play the piano there now?
No, I don't go to church much. I belong up here on the hill now.
Okay, so back then you had your meetings in the church.
Yeah.
Was once a week?
I think it was once a week.
What did
But
you?
we had to all go too. The one that belonged to, they had better be there. And we all went, Mom and Daddy and Bill and me. And Jess, he was already married, but he belonged to it too.
Jesse was your brother?
Yeah.
Jess Traylor. And what did you all do there at these meetings? What were the meetings like? Do you remember?
Well, they just get up there and tell us what we had to do in March. After we had our meetings, I can't remember too much about that. But I do know after the meeting, we come out, we walked, and marched down the streets. And then we'd have big cookouts. People bring in stuff from the country and help us. And we'd have barbecue or, something big.
Was this during the strike that you're talking about or before?
After the strike. Well, yeah.
No, was this before the strike? You'd have these meetings at the church.
Yeah.
That was before this. Let me remind you, the strike was in July of 1934.
I was working, and my husband was down on the lake with a bunch of girls, too. Yeah, my brother was. My sister was, too, Belle. And I got home, I said, Mother, where's DC? She said, down in the creek with the rest of them. We had a swimming pool, but but it was made out of a creek, they fixed it for us.
Okay, now, do you remember why they went out on strike?
No.
Do you remember being out on strike?
Yeah, I remember that well.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was just another day, honey. We just, get out and walk and go up there and cook out, and we have to walk picket line. And but they broke in on us one night there. And we had those two machine guns sitting up there above on top of the mill, right on us.
Who put the machine guns up there?
I just don't know, hon, where the mill did or where the union did, but I think the mill's one done it. Now, I don't know. I won't tell that's the truth because I don't know. But it was a terrible time, I tell you. But we all loved each other. And we all stuck together.
Do you remember, was you on strike for a long time?
It was in the fall before we went back, but July, you know, it don't take fall long to come after July. And they went back to work, I think, I think I went back to work in September. I'm not for sure. Anyway, they sent for me to come to the office, and I went. And when I come out of the office, my husband was standing there with my apron. You see, we had to wear aprons, and but they just told me, you know, to come back in the next day. And I don't know what day it was. I can't remember that, but I was just happy to get to go back to work. I didn't know what to do because we lived on. He made $280 a week on PWA. You remember that, don't you? My daddy worked on it, and my DC and my two brothers. And that's what we had to live on during the strike.
Wow. Now, how many people in town, in the mill, joined the union? Most people or some people?
Yeah, there was some that wasn't unions. But as long as I worked there in years, they had a union. After that.
Really?
Yeah.
The union stayed on there?
Yes, I had. Oh man, Kim fan.
Excuse me?
I had to join the union after that on account of him. He was for the union.
Your husband?
And I followed whatever he wanted me to do, as long as it was right. And of course, you got to go along with your husband before you get married now. If you want happiness, I know you do.
Wow. Well, I have found a lot of interesting papers, and maybe it'll bring back some memories for you, and maybe it'll help me understand a little bit what was going on. Now, but do you remember the Dallas Moore and Hambone?
Yeah. They was out there with us.
On strike? Really?
Yeah, they was out there just as big as we was.
I mean, they were on the picket line? Really?
They were unions too, honey.
Really? That you had black people in your union?
I reckon now they was always there. I don't know whether they was unions or not. I can't remember that. But I do know they was there, and when we went back to work, they was there. And we had some colored people from Huntsville that come there and went to work, but they fired them, sent them back to Huntsville. They had to put us back to work. They had to put every hand back to work.
Now, when the mill closed down, did Dallas Moore and Hambone, did they go out on strike with you?
I don't know. I think they worked every morning, and I was working every evening. Now, I don't know whether yeah, they did, because the mill shut down. There wasn't nothing in there they could do. But they was mostly clean up hands.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you have them come to your meetings at the church, the union meetings at the church?
Did we have what, huh?
When you had your meetings, the union meetings.
Yeah.
At the church, did Dallas Moore and Hambone come to those meetings?
I don't remember that now. I just don't know. But they'd have been welcome to have, because we never did. They got a place here on earth the same as we have. They got little children too, ain't they?
A lot of people back then didn't think that, did they?
Yeah, they don't now. Well, honey, I was raised up with them. They worked for my daddy, picked cotton. We had little houses, we lived in Randolph on the ranch. We had houses, my brothers and them farmed. Daddy bought cattle. And when he got a big load, they'd drive the boys and go drive them in. See, there's a bunch of them. And we had a dog that'd help them. And they worked there, and they worked for Mama too, in the house and everything. And then we had one blind. My granddaddy was a county farmer. I don't know you ever heard anything about that, have you? Well, old people used to go when they got too old to take care of themselves. They'd go to the county farm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my granddaddy was superintendent of it. And this blind colored man would come up their house and stay a whole lot and take care of my little brother. And he'd take his little stick and hunt him and said, "Mr. Wiley, where are you at?" But hadn't been film, our house had burned up. He was sitting over there. He didn't eat with us. He was on a little table by himself. And Lola said, Lord looks at her house is on fire. She went to give, take him something to eat. And are you taping all this? Yeah.
That ham bone?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of these other men?
No, I don't. Do you?
Yeah, I do. And I'm wondering if so this man here was he was Claude Hunley, Mr. Hambone.
Yeah.
And he worked at the mill.
Mm-hmm.
And you think he was on the picket line with you?
I don't know for sure where he was or not now. We got out in Marston, us girls always be together and the men folks would be together. So I can't remember where he was on the picket line. I ain't gonna say because that might be a telling the story.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Where did you march when you would
Well,
march?
we marched from church down to the mill and then we marched up the road a little piece and back.
Did you carry banners
I don't know.
or signs?
I don't know.
Do you remember, did you sing? Do you remember what you said?
Oh, we sang all the time. We went to church and come back from church singing.
What kind of songs did you sing?
Religious songs.
For the Union?
God, I don't know. When we sung, I don't know when we even had any music and not that. But we've been through a whole lot.
I know it.
But this,
I'm surprised that the church let you have a meeting there. Did the church?
well, most everybody worked at the mill. It went to the church. We helped build the church. They'd make up money for it, And we get out and sell candy and do stuff like that, help build it.
But the minister didn't mind that you were having union meetings there?
Don't reckon. He might have been in on it. I don't know, honey. I can't remember who our pastor was at that time.
How did the town respond to you wanting to have a union? Do you remember that?
No, we went to the show all the time. We always had enough money to get to go to the show.
How did the people in the town react?
They was all nice to us.
Do you remember how they felt about you trying to have a union or not?
No, I don't know about that.
How about the mill?
About the what?
How did the mill company feel, Mr. McCormick? How did they feel about you wanting to have a union?
I don't know. He was always nice to us. Our bosses was nice to us.
How did they feel about the union? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I do know when I went back to work, my boss come over there. He said, now Nell said, if anybody goes say anything to you, don't say nothing to them, just come and report it to me. You ever had your ear stopped up? Take a break.
And what did you say to your boss?
I told him I would. But ain't nobody never did say nothing to me. Ain't nobody bother me. I was mean as a snake.
So do you think you would have told your boss if people were trying to organize?
Yeah, if they said anything to me and got smart with me and thing, called me a scab or something like that, I'd have went and told him. I sure would have.
Was he asking you about if people wanted to have a union? I mean, if people talked about the union again, that you should tell him that? Or did he mean if people gave you trouble?
They just said if they said anything smart to me about the union, or about going, about the scabs or something like that, to come tell him, not to say nothing to him. But they never did do that. I didn't bother nobody up there, and they didn't bother me. But then I dipped snuff. You've seen snuff, ain't you? Well, I dipped snuff. We weren't allowed to spit on the floor. When I get mad, I'd spit that stuff. Old Hambone never come clean it up.
Now, why would people call you scab?
Because they couldn't call me that because I didn't go back to work. We called them scabs in that went back to work, broke the union. But that's just what my boss told me. And we had a good boss.
Now, I have a list of people here who, a lot of them had a tough time getting their jobs back.
My name, is this where you got my name from?
Yeah. But you know what? I'll even show you this. This is how I got your name.
I know Luther Mangrum, I know L.T. Hamilton, I know Lee Gordon, and I know all of these boogers. Erlene Stevens, she used to live right down here below me. Joseph Jackson. Yeah, Miss May Harris, May White, R.B. White, Jeff Thomas. You know, he just died last year. He lived at Silicaga, down there where my sister lived. You know, it fell off from the ladder and broke her. Yeah. And, yeah. Where's my name at?
It's on the next page.
D.C. Dowds. Well, my husband's name's supposed to be in here.
Yeah, was your husband Guy? Was your father, was it Trebor or Traylor? Which street did your family live on? 3rd Street?
Yeah.
35 3rd Street? So was J.H. Traylor your...
Yeah, my daddy.
And what about Guy Traylor or Gay Traylor? Was it...
Jess Traylor, I guess he lived on 3rd Street. That's my brother.
And Lula Traylor?
Lula was my mama.
And Belle Traylor?
Who?
Belle Traylor.
That's my sister, Belle.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'll tell you, I think I have some things I'll show you something. This is how I got your name, okay? It seems like, now let me see if you remember all this. The people in Alabama went out on strike, right? The whole state went out on strike in July of 1934.
I guess it did. I think it did. Now, I'm not going to say that for the truth, son. I was the little young kid at that time.
Okay. So
I married when I didn't marry till I was 21 years old. I was about 21 then, because I married and we had a strike right after we married.
You were married and then
we married November the 10th, and then we had a strike next July.
You got married November 10th, 1933? Okay.
That's when we got married.
Okay. So, you all went out on strike, and then the country joined you. Do you remember then they called a general strike?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Well, nobody working, was it?
Did you know that it was a general strike all over the
country?
country?
Yeah, see, we had radios back then. We didn't have no TVs, but we had radios.
Do you remember, what did you hear?
I just know they was out on strike with us. And, of course, they'd give out, the president would speak, and all of the big shots, would speak and everything. And then whenever they started, raised their wages and everything, we went back to work. They hadn't been in too long till he raised their wages to $9.89 something a week.
Well, you know what? I think he raised your wages
and cut us down 8 hours. Turned around, but it didn't bother me. I kept my job going. And my boss come by and said, "I can't find anything wrong with it." He come out the house, and I tell you, I was the best spinner down there. I had 16 sides, and there's 116 spinners to the side. Now you can't have how many spinners I had. Threads I had to keep running.
Now, do you remember, did they try to stretch you out? Remember after the 8-hour day went in and you were working 8 hours instead of 11, did they give you more sides?
Well, when I first went to work, I run 6 sides, and they got us up to 8 sides. And then they went up to, I think they put 2 more sides. But finally they wound up, when I quit in there, I was running 16 sides.
Wow. Okay. Now,
and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had Mom and Dad to look forward to, and had DC, so I didn't worry. Back to work.
Now, did the mill take you back directly or no?
I waited. Well, anyway, I'd been to the doctor or something the other day. Went down and told, I stayed with Mom and Dad and me and DC. They went down and told me to come in and to come to the office, and I went, and they told me to come back to work the next day. Okay. And then that man, the boss, come to me and told me if anybody said anything to me to just come to him with it. So I never did have no trouble with nobody in the mail.
Okay, now, do you recall, it seems to me that there was a problem in your mill because when President Roosevelt told everyone to go back to work and that they would get their jobs back
Yeah.
and they wouldn't be discriminated against for being in the union that or out on strike, that the mill didn't take everybody back immediately. And a lot of people got upset. So you all went and you filled out these forms. Do you remember this?
Now, so. Now, I could write better then than I can now. Uh-oh.
Whoops. Now, is that your handwriting?
That looks like... Can you hear things around here?
I heard like maybe a door shut. Want me to go look? Can you read it out loud?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
I can't read out loud. Have a job here again. A remembrance of this Union, company union, had my job. Is that the way it reads?
Yeah, want me to read it out loud to you?
Yeah, if you want to.
It says,
I ain't the best hand to read. The more I
I
can't...
was called out on a strike July 13th, 1934. I reported for work September 24th. Had to go under machine gun guards to get to the mill. Did not get in the mill. I reported again for work October 1. Was told by A.B. McCormick that he had nothing for me, that I would never have a job here again. A member of the company union had my job.
That's right. Oh, rascal. And when I had my baby, I went back to go to work. And they didn't have nothing for me. And I went to Ireland because my mom and dad lived up there and I was staying with them. And so me and Mama went back down there. Mama told me to sign me up where I could draw my unemployment, if they wasn't going to put me back to work. So they put me back to work.
They did put you back to
They
work.
did put me back to work after I had my baby.
So how long were you out of work?
I think Mom made me quit when I was about 6 months.
But do you remember this? Do you remember filling this piece of paper out?
Yeah.
Do you remember did they invite everybody into the union hall to sign that up? Do you remember how that worked?
I don't know. See, like I told you, I'd gone to town. I don't know where it's to have a tooth pulled or what, but when I got back, they'd been down there and Dad had told me that they'd come out there and want me to come report to the office. And when I got out there wasn't anybody in the office, but except the ones, that worked in there.
Do you remember after the strike, you tried to go back to get your job back, and they said we don't have a job for you?
Mm-hmm.
Could you describe that to me?
Well, they just told me that, and I just turned around and walked out. I was fixing to go somewhere else and hunt a job, but back then nobody was much higher, a person had been on strike. But they sent for me less than a week after that, and I went back to work.
No, you filled this out on October 13th.
Yeah.
So you still didn't have a job on October 13th. Do you remember filling that out?
I guess I do, honey. I don't remember it, but I know I filled it out because it's staying here.
Yeah.
Now.
And you don't remember seeing it, all the other people from the union? So you all filled it out the same day. Here's one. Do you remember Herschel Mangan?
Yeah, no, yeah.
He's still living.
Yeah.
See, he filled one out too.
That's my brother. That's the one that worked up there and put the machinery down. And
Do you want me to read this one to you?
let me run to the mailbox and get my mail.
Oh, wait,
will
wait,
you?
wait. Should I read these to you? Well, see, you all went and you all filled them out on the same day.
I guess we did, hon. I can't remember.
All right.
Somebody else had to write it for
He
me.
must have said it, and somebody else
Yeah.
wrote it.
And
Okay.
he
It says here, be.
was a very smart and intelligent person. He could figure up faster in his head than he could with a pencil.
So do you think that this is his X? That the person signed his name, and then your daddy made an X?
Yeah,
Okay. The
he
person.
had to.
The person wrote, I went to Mill for work on September 24th, was held back at Highway by guards around with machine guns.
I remember that.
I went again on October 1 and 6 a.m. I went far as the office door, held back by guard armed with machine guns at 2 p.m. same day. I was allowed to see Superintendent Mr. A.B. McCormick. He told me he did not have anything for me. I don't know, something on classified as skilled labor, but they only paid me $12 per week.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He got his butt out from there in a hurry.
Did your daddy ever come back to work there?
Yeah, Daddy went back to work. We all went back to work, honey.
Okay. And how long?
And I don't know where Roy went back to work. That's whenever he was doing his sickness, you know. And you know what? He went to Gadsden. Well, you know, he lived at Gadsden. This black woman tended to their little baby. She was a rich old woman, you know. And her name was Pearlie Woods. So Corley taken him back down there to her sister's, and Pearlie went up there to see him.
John Pritzett was the police?
I think it was.
Because he signed his name as a witness. See?
Well, I knowed him. He married Miss Fletcher's daughter, but now I don't know what he done. But I thought he was the police, but now I don't know
Is he
what.
still living?
I don't know.
And this is by Lula Trailer.
She's been dead a long time.
She says, I was called out of this mill on strike July 13th. I reported back for work through machine gun guards after the mill was started by company union members. I was told by A.B. McCormick that we had as well leave town, for I had no more job here. I received 2 house notices, had one of the company union members on my job. Did they ask Lula to leave her house?
I reckon we must all went the same day and had a review, you know, go back to work, but they didn't own us. And I don't know how long it was for Mom and them. I went back to work, but they went back to work. We all went back to work. Every hand in there went back to work.
Did they were they asked to be evicted from the house? Do you remember that?
Ask me what?
Did they ask your family to leave the house, the mill
No,
house?
No, they never did.
Did you know that they did that with other people?
I don't know. Don't think so.
Okay.
'Cause we was all just like one family, honey, in that village. That Miss Frazier you was reading a while ago, she lived right across the street from us. And she ain't been dead but 2 or 3 years. She was real old. And was a wonderful person.
But your sister said that she got notice to have to leave the house, that the mill company wanted her to leave the house. You don't remember that? Okay. You know what I mean? She says that she got a notice like this. Let's see, Jeff Thomas. Frank Bailey. Remember Frank Bailey?
Hey,
Frank Bailey?
yeah.
See, they sent him a letter and told him to be evicted, that they wanted to evict him from the house.
Well, they never did send that in them one.
Okay.
They didn't mess with Mr. Trailer and them much. There's too many of them. Them old boys, they ain't got Watt and Jim Willis down there, but I don't reckon they was working at that time.
And
Willis never did work. He died when he was 17.
this is to Bill. It
Yeah.
says, I came out on strike at this mill July 13th, 1934. Reported back to work October 24th. Had to go through machine gun guards to get to the mill. I went back October 1 under same conditions. Was told by A.B. McCormick they were not hiring anyone. A company union member was running my job. Here's your sister.
Yep, she went to Georgia and worked in Georgia a long time. We had one brother lived in Clarkdale, Georgia. She went over and worked in a cafe during the strike. She come home Christmas and brought us all something for Christmas.
So what were your feelings during that strike? Do you remember? Did you feel like you were gonna?
We picked cotton.
No,
We picked cotton until we went back to work in the mill.
really? During the strike, you picked cotton?
Yes, sir. I could get over 300 pounds a day. Me and Bear picked 600 a lot of days.
So would you go to the picket line and then go pick cotton?
No, I got nothing more. Behind we had, Mama had cooks down there. And them little, they'd have girls and they'd come help me and Bill clean house and do things. And we'd get there, we had a Victrola, and we'd get in there and dance up a storm.
You mean you had black women who came to cook for you?
Yeah, Mama had, as long as I can remember, nearly she had a colored cook.
Who was it? Was it Lizzie?
Well, let's see, one of them was,
Emily?
Maud was one of them. She's the first one we had in Gunnersville. And then they was, she was a fortune teller, and I can't think of it. You just have to forgive me, hon, I can't help you. Maud was the main one, though, and Alice Green was one that she kept house for us. And this and it brought the girls come down there and help us do clean curtains and do things like that. I can't think of her name. But we lived right at the foot of Colored Hill, you know, and they'd help us do a whole lot of stuff. But we was always nice to them. Now you go ahead and do what you want to.
So
But,
are you you're not surprised? Are you surprised that Claude and Dallas also were they part? Do you think they were part of the union? If they
Yes,
signed?
ma'am. They was part of the union. And they was good people. And I don't like for people to talk about them because they black. They can't help them being black. Do you know it? You don't hate them, do you?
No.
I don't hate nobody.
The only reason I'm asking, is because it's very rare
Yeah.
in all the research that we've done. I've never seen two black men write about the strike. It's,
Well, I guess they never did have no strikes down there where my brother worked, but he worked for Comer's. I mean, after he married, he moved to Sycamore, Alabama, and worked for Avondale. You know, Avondale's
Yeah.
got big companies. If they ever had a strike, I didn't know it, but anyway, anything come up, they'd always raise their hands and things like that, and they didn't have to strike. And Avondale's a big company. I think he's got mills all over the place.
how long was the for how long were those machine guns up?
Well, now who's that?
Big silver car.
Would you take this off and let me go see what
Yeah.
that's all about? I want to say,
Now, do you remember how long they kept the guards and the machine guns at the
they kept
gate?
them out there a pretty good while, but I can't remember how long.
Now, those machine guns, was someone up there with a machine gun on top of the mill?
There was 2 or 3 up there. There was one on this end. You seen the mill, ain't you? One on this end, one on the other end, I think. I don't think there was but 2 machine guns up there. And if I know where this woman lives, she could tell you more about it because she wrote up a big story in the paper about it not too long ago. And Luce Mangrum, I believe is her name.
Mangum?
Yeah.
Now, I know that they didn't have the National Guard in Alabama. They didn't have the National Guard in Alabama. So the mill owner must have hired those machine guns.
And I don't know about the National Guard, but my brother stayed in there all his life, just about it.
No, what I'm saying is, in other parts of in North and South Carolina, they were National Guardsmen with machine guns. But in Alabama, they didn't bring the National Guard.
I don't know who it was up there. I don't remember that.
And who was on the ground with the guns? Do you remember that?
No.
Were they people that you knew? Were they other people in town?
Well, I know none of us didn't have no gun. But now that Miss Brazier, when I was talking about Granny Brazier, she had a big old torch, a great old long torch, and she walked it with that torch.
She walked the picket line with a
Yeah, and
torch?
she was mean as an old snake too. And she was old, but I loved her. She was a good old thing.
So was these meetings that you had, they were in the Baptist church? Was that right?
Mm-hmm. Now, I think it was. It's the only place. Yeah, I know it was, because at that time it was just an old tin building. And now it's the most pretty church in Gunnersville. I go back and think about it a lot, what a good time I'd had in there. And I'd love to go back sometime. But I can't get down there.
Did people from other parts of Alabama, people from Gadsden or Huntsville, did they used to come to your meetings and talk to you? Other people who were in other unions in other parts of...
No, they never did come talk to me. Now, they might talk to their union.
Did they come to the meetings, you think?
Well, they might have, honey. It's been so long I can't remember. Now, this little... Well, I was about... I guess, let's see. I was already married. I was 21, I guess. 22. No, it happened right after me and D.C. married. And I don't know. I can't remember back that far on that line. Now, about this year, I can remember that because I was in that.
Right. Okay. Hambone worked inside the mill or outside?
Inside.
Do you remember what he did?
He cleaned up. Janitor. Mopped floors. Cleaned their bathroom.
Were there any black women who worked in the mill?
They was when they first broke in strike, and come in. They some from Huntsville. And they caught her drinking out of her hydrant and they fired her.
Did they use the black workers to try to as scab labor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many black workers did they bring in?
I can't remember but one. But now they might have been some in there, but they caught her drinking out of their hydrant and they fired her. Marvin Peck done that. No, Ed Peck fired her. That was their boss. He was a sweet old boss.
Now, in most towns, the Hounds were very, very anti-union. Very negative, very angry with a lot of the workers for joining the union. Is that what happened in Gunnersville?
I guess it was, hon. I don't know. All I ever know was most of them all was unions. We all stayed together, the unions did.
And did you keep on meeting after you went back to work? Did the
No,
union stay on?
I never did. I don't know where DC did or not. I don't know where. And I wish the Lord I could think of that man's name was the head of it. But
Was it J.H. Kellett? Kellet?
No, he went with this.
Was it Homer West?
No. Oh, my legs is getting to hurting.
You want to lay down?
No, shoot, I don't ever lay down till time to go to bed.
All right. Is he really active in the union, your husband?
Yes, man, he sure was. And see, we had another union after that, after this one.
When did you have the other union?
No, wait now, let's just repeat that. The mill shut down. for a while. And we got some new bosses in there and started it back up.
And then you had another union.
Yeah, and I had to work in the field like a little whitehead. I had to plow and do everything else. I was working for Daddy. We lived right across the hill over there in D.C. I don't know where. Yeah, I was after he went in service, and he was going to school and running a station, stationed across the, garage right across the road from us. So, but we got to throw on employment that time when they shut in. But we didn't during the strike. But now I still had to go help Daddy in the field. I know during the war, me and Bill would help Daddy go to the field. They come in with going on about me being dressed up and everything, just hunting me and me, and I could have shot them, everyone. I thought maybe that's what they wanted me, to look good. They don't, they just want me to be grandma.
What did you do?
I'm going to do what I want to.
So you kept the dress on?
Yeah, I sure did. But I had on lipstick. I had on lipstick this morning, and I patted my nose and put that outfit on I had on a while ago, waiting on you to come. I didn't think he's coming. Oh, my butt's getting tired. We're going to have to hunt somewhere else to see it.
Okay. One more time. Try to imagine, if you could help me, where do you think you filled these out?
Repeat that.
Where do you think you filled these out? Where do you think you went to go fill these out?
I don't know. You want me to throw them out?
No. No. Did someone did you walk and who organized this so that you could fill out these sheets?
Well, honey, I can't. It's Taylor, I believe. But I don't know his first name. I believe his last name was Taylor.
Who organized all this?
Yeah. He was ahead of it. I think now. That's all I can tell you. I can think, and that's about as far as I
Do you
go.
think your sister would know?
Huh?
Was Belle older than you or younger?
Yes,
than
ma'am.
you?
She's 2 years older than I am.
She's 2 years older than you. Okay. So Jack Taylor was the president of your local union? He was the leader.
I take that back now. I didn't live in the house. It was Jack Taylor, wasn't it?
Jack Taylor was the president of the local.
Yeah.
He lived on Obrig Avenue.
Yeah.
Is that where you lived?
I guess so.
You lived with Jack Taylor?
No, I don't think so, hon. I think I've got that wrong.
Okay. Now, do you know what happened to Jack Taylor?
Mm-mm.
You know any of his children?
Mm-mm.
Did he come back to work or did he leave town?
I don't know.
Okay.
See, I don't think he ever worked up there where we worked because I know that everybody was up there, in my room.
Was
Who?
L.D. Albright.
Yeah, I know. Well, I told you I lived in the house with him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, L.D. And he had a sister-in-law, Lillian's, I can't think of her last name, that worked in the mill. And his wife worked in the mill.
Is he still living?
I don't know. See, they all moved away from here after the mill shut down. I don't know where they went back home or where they came from or what.
Okay.